Okay, hello, and welcome back to the Langs Invitational pregame, postgame show here at the Nelson. First order of business, last week's feature match featuring the Cheek Clappers versus the Pocket Pounders. Last week, the Cheek Clappers won the match 3-1 over the Pocket Pounders. Cheek Clappers go to 7-1. Pocket Pounders now at 5-3 and drop down the standings a little bit. Okay, for our standings. At 8-0, we them boys. That's the Langs team. That's Ryan McLaughlin, Steve Chartier, Jared Nimblett, and Jacob Williams with the anchor Quidaris Rembert, who's having a pretty good start to his year through 2 weeks. They are followed by three teams at 7-1. Those teams are the Cheek Clappers, who won obviously the feature match last week, led by Jerry Bianchi, who's off to a very good start, 1380 after 6 games or so. Also at 7-1, Hanging Corners, Ricky LaRoche right now averaging about 235 plus in that team. So that team's right there, and they got Dave Bakeman on that team, Dave Bakeman Sr. and company. Also at 7-1, Enjoying the Ride. That's Jimmy Savastis' team. He's off to a good start, 240 after 2 weeks. He's bowling with his father, getting his father Charlie Savastis out of retirement, back in the game, and good to see him bowling again. And they bowl with Chris Baker, Mike Casavant, and Brian Pike. So that leads off your 7-1 teams. There are three teams that are 0-8. We will not mention them. We'll leave the innocent unnamed for now. As for top scores last week, leading the list was Zach Bacon, who shot 298 in league action last week. Also, Derek Levely Sr., another 280 game. He's had several honor scores in the last couple of seasons, off to a pretty good start again this year. Good for him. Chris Gerard, 778 last week, including a 279 game. Very good week for Chris, and he's off to a 250 average start as well. Matt Altruda for Rip the Rack, he bowled 750 in his first week of league action. Missed last week due to work, first week out of the gate. For him, 750, good bowl in that. Also, Ray Snow, who shot 745, and an interesting name, Billy Trudell, who was also retired, seems to be out of retirement, and he shot 745 right in off the street, cold. Obviously, very talented bowler, so no surprise there. All right, next order of business, our average chase after week 2, obviously very early, but after 6 games, Mike Carter, 256 and a half. He obviously shot 801 in week 1, had another 700 this past week, so he is now your average leader at 256 and a half. Right behind him is Lance Outland, who averaged 256 in week 1 with a 768. He did not bowl week 2, so he technically is in second place, but has only bowled 3 games. Third place, Chris Gerard, who's off to an outstanding start, throwing it very well, really bowling well. 251 for him. He's in third place in the average chase in the league. Okay, for our feature match of the week, taking place on 9 and 10, I believe. This is team number 5, the Cheek Clappers, the same team that was in your feature match last week. They won, they're now 7-1. They're taking on the Pink Fluffy Unicorns, a team that has been very strong, has won a number of league titles in a row, and they are bowling with their anchor bowler, Chris Gerard, who's off to an amazing start at 251. So that should be a very important match, and it should be a very interesting match with some great characters involved. And again, 2 pretty good team names with the Pink Fluffy Unicorns and the Cheek Clappers. Okay, Cheek Clappers, just a reminder, those guys are Jerry Bianchi, Eric Malarkey, Steve Gardner, Joey Gilmet, and Ryan Nelson is on your team for the Cheek Clappers. And for the Pink Fluffy Unicorns, they use Mark Thompson, Jeff Sprague, George Vito Sr., George Vito Jr., as well as obviously the anchor Chris Gerard. So a good match, should be interesting. We'll see what happens in that match. We'll bring you some footage if we can. As well, just check out the RTR Bowling YouTube channel for more on that. Okay, that's going to do it for our Langs Invitational pre- and post-game show, brought to you by Rippin' the Rack and RTR Bowling on YouTube. We'd like to especially thank our sponsors this week, Bowlify, Rippin' the Rack, Custom Profit, and Langs Bowlorama. Special thanks to Carl DeRosa and Stevie Chartier for letting us use the Nelson Center here at Langs that overlooks the lanes here, so we appreciate their effort on that. Finally, for our fans, we'd like to hear from you. In the future, we plan to bring you some interviews, maybe have a special guest or two here join me in the Nelson Center for the pre and post game show. But we'd like to hear from you. What would you like to hear? What would you like to see? What could we add to the show that might make it more interesting and give us a few more viewers? So if you have some suggestions, we'd love to hear them. You can comment, you can send us a message, you can come down to Lang's on Wednesday night and visit me and let me know what you think, okay? In any case, we hope that you'll continue to visit us at RTR Bowling on YouTube for the Lang's Invitational pre and post game show. Thank you.